these flags, guys. And then they're going down. Okay, so Ricardo's going to lead you with the Aussie. We're going to share the mic because we find it hard to get two mics on a, for me and him. We might tell a bit too much truth, us two guys. Okay? Don't worry about Peekaboo, it's finished. Peekaboo's finished, mate. I know about everything. It's finished. Okay, Ricardo. Thank you. I know they own both, mate. We're going to educate the people, okay? No, we're educating on flags, sir. Okay, your flags are all genocide. All made by Cabal. Your Aboriginal one as well. Listen, you're under maritime law. You can't be there. Or you lose. So what we're going to do is give it to Ricardo. We're going to oi, oi, oi. He's going to have a chat. We're going to have a minute's silence. And we're folding up all these flags. That's the only way you people get the elders of this country to come together and bring this thing home. I told you, today we win. We come back once more to pick up the spoils, guys. Alright, it's a simple plan. They come from a concreter, it's freaking not complicated. All we gotta do is dump them flags and we win. Ricardo, do we have the other one?
They've all been distributed.
All been distributed. Beautiful. Well, I'm going to give it to you now, buddy. Let's have it.
Aussie, Aussie, Aussie! Bow your heads. Our Father who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread. Forgive us our trespasses, as we forgive those who trespass against us. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. Amen. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Canberra. A little while ago, we put out the call for 5 million people, and they laughed. Well, the laugh's on them now. The police yesterday advised that 1.4 million vehicles had arrived. That was yesterday. And that doesn't include the people who arrived yesterday, last night and today. So we know conservatively there's at least 3 million extra people in Canberra right now. This is unprecedented in Australian political history. This is what it looks like to win. Because we're not here to fight, we're here to win. That makes sense. Okay, so we've got about 3 million people here. Now, of course, the media will report that there were 10 or 20 fringe lunatics that stormed Parliament House, knocked over 50 cops, and are all in jail. The media is cracking. The media is cracking, folks. We are closer to victory than you know. This can no longer be ignored. Now, today is about you. Every one of you. This is about the average Australian standing up, taking their sovereignty in their hands and saying no more. There are people that want to take it from you, like they've been doing for decades. And as Dave said, and Dave's a concreter from Wollongong, and what an Australian revolution that is. A truckie from Perth and a concreter from Wollongong are saving the country. And Dave mentioned something about bringing everyone together. And he was talking about the flags, and a lot of people are very proud of those flags, because they've fought and bled and died under those flags. But the government, the corporate government behind us, uses that to divide us. Even the black flag, the Aboriginal flag, is a corporate flag. And they use it to divide. And that's how they win. They divide black and white, man from woman, Children from parents, Jew from Christian, to Muslim, to Hindu, to Buddhist, to atheist. They divide, they divide, they divide. That's how they win. They get you fighting each other when there's nothing to fight about. The leadership of every aspect of this country is utterly corrupt. Utterly corrupt. The polity, the bureaucracy, the judiciary, the military, media, academia, big business, big unions, the churches, the synagogues, the temples, the mosques, the lodges, the leadership are utterly penetrated by Masonic filth. Their stock in trade is satanic ritual abuse, child sex trafficking, and pedophilia. Now, if you don't know that, what are you doing here? We came together because of the vax, we came together because of the mandates, we came together because of the masks, we came together for the QR codes. But if all of that disappeared tomorrow and you all went home, the conditions that created this would still be in place. Does that make sense? Yes. The conditions would be identical. Because if those bastards are still in power, we still lose. The only way we can win is to come together as one. Come together as one. One people, one country, one flag for ourselves. Does that make sense? Now I've got a good mate up in NT. His name's David Cole. His tribal name is Lumpa. Who knows Lumpa? Who saw his video just recently about what was happening up there? If you haven't, let me give you the short version. And he had the maps to prove it. Every COVID hotspot in the NT that the government announced was immediately followed, after the troops, the locals were taken out, was followed by mining exploration, which was quickly followed by the request for mining leases. This is nothing but a naked grab for land. And they're doing the same to you. Have you heard about your land titles being digitized and sold off to a corporation? Their goal is simple. They want dead blacks and dead whites so they can take the land. That's it. And this COVID nonsense, this pandemic, this genocide is designed to facilitate that. That's why the way we do this is critical. Now, a lot of people are frustrated. I get that. I mean, a lot of people want to storm the barricades. That's not our job. We're not here to disarm the police, storm the Parliament House. That's not our job. That's for somebody else to do sometime down the track. Our job is to stand here as one and in one voice say, no more. That's it. That's it. We've got to come together. Now, all the flags out here, I love them. And there's the red flag and the blue flag. There's the Greek flag, the Italian flag, Serbian flag, Austrian flags, and that's our history. Even the Aboriginal flag, that's our history, and that's brilliant. I love it. And Hungarian, thank you. And that's brilliant. That's who we are. That's where we came from. That shaped us. But the time has come for us to become us. Let the dead bury the dead. There's not one white man or one white woman here who killed a black. And there's no one black here that's ever suffered under the hand of any of us. The people who are torturing the blacks are the same ones that are torturing the whites. That's a fact. And if you want to go, and that's the people we're going to take. Jackie in the Nulla Nulla doesn't see a cent of the $33 billion a year, every year, that you have been putting into the Aboriginal industry. $33 billion. Where does it go? It goes into the leadership of this corrupted, this Masonic filth that has penetrated the leadership of everyone in this country. This country should be stinking rich. And you should be free to enjoy it. We need to come together as one. one people, one country, one flag. We do that, they lose. Because they can no longer divide us.
We have a transitional unity flag. I'll show you how solid these sovereigns are.
You can turn it around.
Okay, yeah, these sovereign people, this is how solid they are, guys. I'm working with them to bring all the elders here, the mobs, okay? And the people are working with me, okay? We get the mobs here next and that's it. We take the spoils.
Turn the flags around, guys, so people can see them.
Yeah, what I want to show you here, Ricardo, this has not been approved by the sovereign, actual sovereign people, okay? So they will not lift us with it yet, okay? But the sovereign people are the withers. We need to get rid of these flags. This will be a transitional flag. How solid they are, they can't lift it because their elders have not yet said it's okay. But we're going to put one up because we need one, okay? And then we're going to come back together, and between us and the Koori people and the kids, we're coming up with a new flag. So, I'm going to let Ricardo do the 60 seconds of silence, okay? I'm a concreter. I thank you very much for putting your belief in me, all right, down at base camp, and we're getting this far, guys. But the job's not done yet, okay? We win today, then we got to come back and get our spoils. But how we win today is we all drop these things, okay? We get a minute's silence, we drop them, up comes the blue and yellow, and it's not permanent, it's transitional. A unity transitional. But until these guys pass it past their elders, they won't even put a hand on it. That's how solid they are. It's got to be done correctly. Alright, and us white honkies got no idea. But we're going to get it done correctly for you folks. So are we prepared to put them things up now? Get them up. Get them all up. Yeah. Yeah, no worries, Cindy. We can. Okay. Right. Ricardo's got it. 60 seconds of silence coming up.
Right, ladies and gentlemen, that's a minute's silence for the wonderful, glorious history of this country.
Amen.
Lower your flags and put up the new one.
Down they go, fold them up, put them in your bag, do the right things with them, guys. Okay, keep them as a memento. All right, at this day in history, when the Australian people took back their country.
Treat the flags with respect. Treat the flags with respect. But lower the flags now. Leave those flags up because I have a message for His Excellency General David Hurley, the Governor General. Now everyone knows we mean no harm to anybody, least of all the highest appointment in this land, and I know Dave Hurley. But Dave Hurley has a job to do. Dave Hurley, as the Governor General, is required to ensure that the Parliament runs constitutionally. If the Parliament acts unconstitutionally, the Governor General is authorised and required by the Constitution to warn the Parliament to cease acting unconstitutionally. Now answer me this: is there evidence of unconstitutional behaviour by our federal Parliament? His Excellency General David Hurley, there is ample evidence. Blind Freddie could find it. So I strongly recommend you get your highest-priced lawyers to examine the behaviour of the Australian parliaments for at least, 40, 50, 60 years. enumerate the many ways in which they have acted unconstitutionally and warn them to stop. Now, if he does so, and the Parliament continues to act unconstitutionally, and here's a tip, if they turn up for work, that's unconstitutional because they're a fraud. If they do that, the Governor-General is authorised and required by the Constitution to dissolve the Parliament. In other words, and with me, sack them all! And again, sack them all! One more time in case it's hard of hearing. Sack them all! Now when His Excellency General David Hurley dissolves Parliament, as is his responsibility to do so, he then appoints an Executive Council. And he can appoint anyone in the land, any Australian citizen. They have 3 months. 3 months. And all they do is run a caretaker type government. Nothing unusual. But they must obviously remove everything to do with COVID. All gone tomorrow. The second thing they do in this 3-month period, this Executive Council, is they clean up the electoral process, because we know the Australian Electoral Commission is utterly corrupted, and so are their systems. How do we know that? Now, is the head of the AEC corrupt? Absolutely not. He's a lovely bloke, thick as 2 short planks, but he's a nice guy. But the people who run the show are utterly corrupt. The electoral rolls are corrupt. How do we know that? Well, in the old days, to get on the electoral roll, you had to get an authorised officer to view your eligibility to vote, your eligibility to vote in that electorate, and proof of residency. That sounds fair enough. The Australian Labor Party and the Liberal Party didn't go against it, so it's all the same stuff. They actually said if you're enrolled to vote in an electorate, then you can authorise anybody else. That's how the electoral roll is completely corrupted now. That's why you keep losing elections. That's why your voice hasn't been heard in 50 or 60 years. That's how they do it. So the electoral roll is corrupted, the systems are corrupted. And here's one for you if you haven't kept up with the news on the fake stream media. The Australian Electoral Commission fronted the Joint Parliamentary Group on Electoral Matters and said, I think we should have Dominion counting machines. So I'm guessing you've heard about Dominion. The AEC actually petitioned the Joint Parliamentary Committee, headed by Liberal, Labor and all the other scumbags up there, to have Dominion vote counting machines used at the next election. Do you want that? No! Your Excellency General David Hurley, did you hear that? They don't want Dominion. This is absolute corruption, and here's how they're going to play it. They're going to fly a lot of outsiders into Australia. No problem with that. But then there'll be a COVID spike. And then they'll say you're on a hard lockdown and you can't vote unless you've been triple jabbed, quadruple jabbed. Unless you're pissing blood, you can't cast your vote.
No way!
That's what they're going to try to do, and then they're going to try to have electronic voting. And they're going to get the result that they want, not the result you want. That's what's coming, folks. And the reason I'm telling you is so they know what we know, that what's coming. So we cannot let this happen. So, the Governor-General dissolves Parliament, appoints an Executive Council, they clean up the electoral system, and for the first time in 50, 60 years, you'll get a free and fair vote. And then, finally, you can decide for yourself by whom and how you will be governed. Does that sound good?
Yeah.
We must come together to do this. Now, go with me, guys, because people keep asking me, what's the plan? What's next? What's next? Let me give you a second on it, just a second or two. Once we get a decent parliament in there of people who represent your interests, we're going to have a constitutional convention. And this will be your opportunity to decide for yourself by whom and how you'll be governed. There'll be an educative process leading up to it, so you know exactly what you want. Then you get to redesign your constitution, because the current one is manifestly inadequate for a 21st century Australia, particularly run by Masonic filth. Because we've got a long way to go, folks. So how about a constitutional convention? You happy with that?
Yeah.
And we get that right, this never, ever, ever happens again. We are free.
What about a bill
Calm down. Oh, yeah. Right. So, yeah, got to be more volume here, okay? Because I haven't got a voice, guys. I've been doing this for a long time, and I usually have to yell at me boys at work, you know, not just like talk all day. But guys, the only way we are doing this is with the elders of this country, okay? I've told you that. Now, you know, everyone's got their ideas, and I had to, you know, I got Ricardo in here because I know he's a person of the people, for the, you know, a people's person, sorry. We had some infiltration in our camp, down at base camp, guys, and the only reason Ricardo is here is because they brought that scumbag fucking Craig Kelly into my camp, okay, or our camp, and I wasn't impressed. This is a non-political event. I rang Ricardo and I said, buddy, I need you to get rid of your A1 and I need you to come and stand with me because otherwise these certain people are going to take our people down and I can't see that happen, okay? You all know what I'm talking about. And then Ricardo come in and he was wearing car keys. And I looked and I went, Ricardo, you can't wear car keys in here anymore, mate. I need you as a civilian. Ricardo is a civilian for me, okay? And he's come here to do exactly what the people asked. We didn't want him in combat uniform. We want him here as Ricardo Bosi. Okay? Favourite of the people. But I'm going to tell you right now.